are more people watching business reality TV. We're not talking about the Kardashians or entertainment stuff here. We're talking about business reality television. There are, of course, advantages of business reality television scaling across Africa because of the benefits to the audience in terms of knowledge gaining, for example. So we have Favour Lawrence-Udi. She's the communications head of Next Titan Africa, joining us to talk about that. So they run a reality TV show. You're very welcome. Good morning to you, Favour.
Good morning, Virtus.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, Next Titan Africa is new, right? Because there's already a... Okay, help us out. There's two shows, right?
Yes. Okay. So the Next Titan Nigeria, the Next Titan has its version, the Next Titan Nigeria, running over 9 years now. We're currently preparing for its 10th season coming up later in the year. So that has been on ground, the Next Titan Nigeria. So this particular version is the Next Titan Africa. So this is the season 1.
So
yes, we're expanding.
You're spinning off.
Exactly.
Right. And they're going to go across the continent. So now, the way it works, it's like, what? Donald Trump's Apprentice and all these other business shows where you give them tasks. Help us out. What do they do on the Next Titan?
Of course, first of all, the Next Titan Africa is a 12 weeks show. And, we have audition processes that take in about 20 contestants. And once they get into the Next Titan house, they're attempting several tasks weekly, and then each week, they're doing several tasks, and then they get to present it to the judges on the show, and weekly evictions will also occur. So that's the format for the show, the Next Titan Africa.
Yeah. What kind of metrics? Are there any metrics that exist? Maybe you're on the inside, so you're on the production stuff, because we don't really, we look at Netflix viewership and ratings and so on and so forth. Are there any metrics that can support viewership growing year on year?
Absolutely. Now, the Next Titan Africa by Tingo, of course, is, we've had a huge applications from contestants. We've had people come, over thousands of applicants come into, the show interest. And so we actually take our metrics from there, the number of applicants we get into the show through the auditions processes as well. And then we look at viewership. Now, as of last season, for the Next Titan Nigeria, we had over 50 million viewerships across the airing platforms. And so we're very certain about that metrics. Also, that the show already gives a platform to entrepreneurs to come on board. So once, of course, we know that with the situation of the economy, we're very low on employment opportunities.
Right.
So once you are out, this is a platform you want to be in. So a lot of interests come on board. A lot of interests are spiked for this.
So your contestant, whoever wins, they showcase you to the world, whatever new innovative business idea you have, and you win some money, right?
Exactly.
Great. So that's for the contestant. What about the audience? What does the audience get out of this? If you think about other famous shows, Shark Tank, Dragon's Lair, all these new innovations that you see, is that the same thing? What does the audience get from watching business reality TV as it stands now?
I would say it's even more than those shows you mentioned.
Okay,
so
you're saying you're better than Shark Tank and Dragon's Lair.
Who said it?
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
To be fair, there's a lot the audience members stand to get. There is the knowledge on the show is really broad, because the format of the show allows you to actually learn practical ways to solve business problems that you can take into your own personal life. It also, because we're also very passionate towards igniting entrepreneurial spirit amongst youths and young Nigerians and Africans, really. So as a viewer, if you're watching the show, you know that this and this and this you're learning. And over the past years, we've gotten reviews as such on how much it has, broadened the mind and how much people are impacted in that way as a viewer. So definitely that is an opportunity. Also, that for the Next Titan Africa Season 1, sponsored by Tingo, the grand prize is $100,000.
Okay.
So contestants are, and we're going to be, of course, 3 runners-up will be sharing $20,000 amongst themselves.
Okay. Now, whereas there's been talk of where these shows are filmed, there's another famous show that's a double B, right? That was shot in South Africa, right? With over the 9 seasons of the prior Next Titan Nigeria, is the infrastructure here for it to be shot and filmed in Nigeria, or did you have to go somewhere else?
The Next Titan Africa, Nigeria is the host country for the Next Titan Africa, and the show has been able to create infrastructures for themselves, but we are still very, open to the government coming in to support and to help with the infrastructure. So Nigeria is the host country.
Talk about that, because we looked at the film industry in South Africa. Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning is coming out, I think, in a week or two. He shot that movie in South Africa.
Yes.
The Woman King with Viola Davis, that was shot in South Africa. I can think of multiple films, music videos that just keep going there. The government has tax incentives in place that incentivize movie production, music videos to come into South Africa and film. But plus, South Africa is just a beautiful place, right? I sound like I'm promoting South Africa on a Nigeria show. So are those the incentives you're talking about when you say you want the government to come and play in, to come into what you're doing here?
Absolutely. I mean, that's exactly, if you look at the structure of producing a reality TV show, a business reality TV show, any reality TV show, in fact, you need those supports really, and the government has a huge part to play. When they come on board, you're able to do a better and achieve, a wider audience and wider purpose with the show. So definitely.
I gotta ask you, what's been the ratio of male to female winners? Because we've got a large SME gap as far as SME funding for female-led SMEs. So briefly, if you can, what's the representation like for female-led, participants and so on the show?
Well, the Next Titan Africa by Tingo is very keen, and we are very focused on balancing the ratio. So we've been able to achieve that, a 50-50 balance on gender. So definitely we have contestants that are female, and we have contestants that are male coming to the house and as well participate through the task. So it's really, we are very focused on that aspect.
Yeah.
We've been able to achieve that 50-50.
Great stuff. Well, we'll see how things work out.
And of course, we've even had about 4 female winners.
That's in the past, on the prior show.
Yeah, so
that's what I was getting to over those last 9 seasons.
Exactly.
So 4 seasons out of 9, okay, so good. That's almost 50%. Exactly. That's not bad. All right, great stuff. Favour Lawrence-Udi, Head of Communications, Next Titan Africa. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your time.